Hey guys, it's Paradise, and we think an online multiplayer action game featuring real-time combat, massive multiplayer raids, and an in-depth story sounds fantastic. We thought we were going to get exactly that with Blue Protocol until a series of events caused the game to disappear. However, in a strange and unexpected twist, this might have been the best thing to happen to it. So in today's video, we'll be exploring what happened to Blue Protocol and what's next, as it appears the game has been reborn as a brand new MMO with significant potential. Let's go through all of the information we know about this new version and talk about the original, and let us know what you think of all of this. For those unfamiliar with Blue Protocol, it was an anime-inspired online RPG developed by Bandai Namco Online and Bandai Namco Studios. It was revealed in 2019 and launched in Japan in June of 2023. The game did attract attention with its vibrant, cel-shaded art style and fast-paced combat, reminiscent of a simplified Tales of Arise. The game's premise was set in the world of Regnus, where players assumed the role of an amnesiac adventurer exploring a land filled with ancient technology and looming threats. A lot of people liked the look of it because the game emphasized action combat, which isn't super common in online games. It allowed players to dodge, block, and chain combos together in real time. It also had a range of really cool looking classes, from dual-wielding melee users to ranged casters and archers. We played only the Japanese beta but did enjoy our time with the game, but came away with the impression that there were a ton of things that the game needed to change to make it more sustainable and enjoyable for the online community. One of the major issues that we and many of the other beta testers encountered was just how repetitive the gameplay would get because of the progression system that Namco implemented. The game had boards with set goals similar to bounties like defeating 20 monsters, and this is common in many online games, but the extent and time investment in Blue Protocol made it feel artificial and like busy work rather than a fun side activity. This was especially so as it was needed to upgrade weapons in the beta. It seems like Namco didn't end up fixing these issues despite initial enthusiasm. We know that the Japanese version of the game suffered from the game's monetization strategy, which included expensive cosmetic items and a gacha system that players didn't like. The players felt that the pricing was steep and that the gacha mechanics were predatory, affecting the overall enjoyment of the game. Not only that, but the game still had various technical problems that existed from pre-release, including bugs and communication errors, which persisted post-launch. All of these challenges resulted in poor player feedback and engagement that eventually led to its shutdown in Japan on January. The game was meant to launch in the West in 2024 after Amazon picked it up, but they cancelled those plans due to the underperformance in Japan and various competition in the market. However, following its cancellation, Blue Protocol has been spiritually revived by Shanghai Bakura Technology as Star Resonance. Bakura's parent company, Tencent, acquired rights to use the original game's assets and gameplay mechanics to develop an improved successor. Interestingly, early feedback from the beta is highly positive, with players stating that Star Resonance is exactly what Blue Protocol should have been. The new developer is implementing substantial changes to its gameplay and core mechanics, and here are some quick impressions from creators who've experienced the beta.
Mystics love Lost Ark, and I did too for the Russian server, where we played, I think, like 100 or more hours while streaming. But other than Lost Ark and like Shadowbringers and Endwalker and Dragonflight and the War Within for a while, there has been not a single MMO that we've enjoyed our time in. Plenty of survival games, plenty of gacha games, but not an MMO until this. So we're very excited for and anticipating playing this when it releases.
I pretty much spent my entire weekend playing Blue Protocol Star Resonance in China, and I want to say this is going to be one of the most promising anime game coming up.
So as you can see, the beta impressions are super positive from MMO Byte and Tenten, with them basically saying it's a great MMO with a blend of Genshin Impact. Now let's talk about what Star Resonance is and how it's different to Blue Protocol. Well, Star Resonance is officially labeled as an MMORPG rather than simply being an online action game, which is a differentiation from the original. There are a ton of changes on top of that, and thanks to the Star Resonance database, we've got details on what some of the upcoming changes and improvements are, as well as some new gameplay footage from Chaotic, who's had a fair amount of time in the beta to play. We know that Star Resonance likely has a planned global release, but it is currently only available in China for PC and mobile. It's currently undergoing beta testing in China, most recently being in April. One of the changes that is instantly noticeable is that Star Resonance database has pointed out the art style has shifted slightly. it's now more closely resembling Genshin Impact in some areas. For the combat, many of the combat mechanics have been improved, becoming even more fast-paced and action-oriented. For example, dodging now features invincibility frames or iframes, and there's a perfect dodge to trigger a special animation. Dungeon boss mechanics have also become more complex, fitting the improved agility and combat responsiveness that they're expecting from players. As mentioned, progression was a big issue in the original, and Bakura has overhauled the gear system, skills, content, and level mechanics, directly tackling a lot of the previous criticisms. Although the game does retain gacha mechanics, they are limited to cosmetic items such as costumes and weapon skins, so it's designed to avoid pay to win, which is at least nice to hear. And to be fair, this is pretty great considering Tencent's mixed history with monetization strategies. Testers did also report that despite including mobile elements like energy systems akin to Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail, Star Resonance plays a lot more like a traditional MMORPG. We've seen a lot of people saying it feels like it takes inspiration from Final Fantasy XIV. Another big addition to the game is that they're introducing new classes, such as a katana-based class, alongside complete reworks of existing classes, offering players much more diverse playstyles and 2 distinct gameplay approaches per class. It is of course going to be very interesting to see how all of this turns out, as we are super excited for Blue Protocol, but then we kind of lost interest in the game with how long it took to get to the market and the issues that we experienced. Hopefully this new version is exactly what we wanted from the game, as the core of Blue Protocol had a ton of potential. We also have more gameplay of the Star Resonance beta, so if this is something you would like to see, then let us know in the comments below. But if you would like to see more Star Resonance right now, we have the trailer here for you to check out. Here at Arekkz Gaming, we're 2 friends who love to play games. You have me, Paradise, as well as 26.
Our goal is to keep the videos as concise as possible by cutting out any of the fluff and focusing on what really matters with high quality videos.
So make sure you're subscribed down below for more videos on your favorite games coming very, very soon.